on Tyra.
To spank or not to spank?
I took her shirt off and I whipped her. I gave him a whack on the butt and he behaved.
I do not need to spank my kids.
They will spank their children.
One of the most heated debates we've ever had on The Tyra Show. Plus,
A mother who spanks her 16-year-old son, and she's proud of it.
When he got home, I spanked his behind. He has to listen to me.
Do you lay him on your knee? I'm confused.
He lays on the bed and I spank him.
Tyra starts now.
You this question. Everybody, listen up. How do you feel about spanking your kids? Or whipping them, or what my mom used to call whoopings, giving them a whooping? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that at home? I'm gonna give you a scenario, okay? Say you're in the grocery store with your little 3-year-old, and they are tearing up and just running up in the aisles and screaming and knocking stuff down and just acting crazy. What do? Do you take them behind the canned goods away from everybody and say, now, Johnny, I think I'm going to have to give you a timeout because this is unacceptable? Or do you grab him by his arm and look him in the eye and say, if you don't cut that out, I'm going to beat your ass? Or do you haul off right there in front of everybody and whoop his butt? What do? A, B, or C? Well, when it comes to spanking, it is actually a really serious and hot button issue, and there are even couples that are disagreeing about to spank or not to spank so much that they're actually possibly on the brink of divorce, and we're going to get to that later. But guess who else disagrees about spanking? Races, different races. You guys know, you've heard the talk between white people, black people, Latins, Asians, everybody. Now get this, 94% of black women think that a spanking is sometimes necessary. 94%. 72% of Latinas agree that a spanking is necessary. 65% of white women support spanking. But less than half of Asian women think that it's okay. And some people think it's enough to say, because I said so. Why, Mommy, why? Because I said so. Well, now we have women on both sides of the debate, okay? This side is for the spanking. All for spanking. And this side is against the spanking. I'm going to start with you. Tell me how you feel about spanking.
Well, Tyra, first of all, I do not agree with the statistics. I'm Asian. I spank my children. 90% of the people that I know that are Asian spank their children.
Really? 90% of the Asians that you know?
90% of them that I know spank their children.
Okay.
Children need to be spanked. I mean, my mom, my grandmother spanked my mother. My mother spanked me. I respect them immensely, and they are authority in my life. One time we were in a restaurant, and there was 8 of us sitting at a table, and my son was 6 years old, catapulting the little forks and spoons up in the air, higher and higher and higher. I turned around to him and I says, let's go to the bathroom right now. He was scared. He knew what was coming up. Took him to the bathroom. I gave him a whack on the butt. I says, what would happen if that went flying across the table? He knew. He came back to the table and he behaved.
He stopped throwing that fork. Because you're going to put a fork in that ass if he didn't stop. Okay, Laura, how do you feel about what she says?
You know, Tyra, I am sick and tired of listening that, you know, Caucasian women don't spank their child. Yes, we do. I discipline my child as much as anybody else do. I'm just trying to, you know, raise them to be the best citizens that they can be. And I was spanked. I had my fair share of spanking, I have to say. And here I am, you know, I'm fine. I'm a responsible parent. So my son one time, just an example, he's 3, and he was playing in the foyer with a ball. And I told him, please don't play with your ball here. Go outside, yada, yada. 3 times nicely, I asked him, please don't throw the ball. 3rd time, he looked me right in the eye, and he threw that ball. Well, obviously...
Defiance, like this.
Oh, he needs to know.
Yeah. Does he do this?
He was like, with a smirk on his face.
That's
Kids need to know their limits. So yes, he looked me in the eye. He threw that ball I have like a little table in the foyer with picture frames. It was like a bowling scene. Everything crashing down. Glass all over the place. Oh my gosh. I took him, put him right on my lap, put his pants down and tap on the butt. I mean, you have to. And then you know what? He never played with that ball again.
He never played with that ball again.
Never did it.
Okay, so as a woman that is a white woman, with the stereotype that a lot of black people and Latin people and other people of color and Asian say that white people don't spank. What do you have to say about that?
I 100% disagree. I think that once you have a child, once you become a parent, you have a responsibility to discipline, to make them the best citizens they can be. And if that means showing them that their actions have consequences, then you know what? Do it. Because otherwise they're going to grow up to be teenagers who don't respect authority, they don't follow rules.
How do you feel about that, Laura?
Oh my God, this is just disgusting. I'm sorry. There are so many other ways to discipline a child. Your fork thing, okay, very easy. You know what? Guess what? You throw the fork, you are not coming back to the restaurant. Take the kid out, he can't eat there that day.
And what are you going to do? Are you going to wait in the car with them?
You know what? If that's what it takes, that's exactly what I'll take.
You're going to adjust your lifestyle to your children? Your children need to adjust their lifestyle to you. You can't adjust your lifestyle to your children.
When you give birth to a child, that doesn't give you license to beat the child. Okay, there are other ways to do it.
Between beating and spanking.
Okay, who makes that decision? You make that decision?
I brought him into this world. I know what's best for him.
But there are many parents that will say that line. Excuse me, there are many parents that will say that line is not harsh enough where you drew it. There are many jails filled with people that have said that line was not harsh enough, and so they're sitting there now because their parent went over the line that you might have never crossed.
Tell me what happened when your daughter had a temper tantrum recently.
What happened when my daughter has a temper tantrum? What I do is physically take her so you can have the temper tantrum, take it to the room. You get a temper tantrum in the room, have your anger, get it out. When you're done, well, I'll come up and we can talk about it. We can get it done. We can figure this out. But that doesn't mean, no, I do not need to spank my kid to discipline this child.
So if a 3-year-old who is obviously not going to sit there and talk to you and have a conversation, I mean, obviously, oh yeah, we're going to talk about it later. What do you do?
But they're 3 and you're so much bigger.
My goodness. Okay, there is a huge...
Let's go to Teresa first. Teresa, how do you feel about you're pro spanking?
Yes, I'm pro spanking. First of all, I'm very insulted at the fact that you wouldn't spank your child, first of all. And second of all, I have a 16-year-old son, right? And he likes to hang around with a gang of people, right? He got
gang, like gang members?
A gang of boys.
Like
a gang of boys.
Okay.
My 16-year-old is taller than me, okay? He got arrested and because one of the kids had a gun.
He got arrested.
Excuse me, can I finish my story? Okay. First of all, let me finish my story. He got arrested, but he was let go because he was not involved in what the guy did. And second of all, when he got home, I spanked his behind because he has to listen to me. I am his mother, and he will not ever get in trouble again because I spanked him. And not only that, excuse me, let me finish my story. My son is 17 years old. He is a senior in high school, and he's graduating. I have a 24-year-old he's getting his master's in London, and a 19-year-old who's going to BSc. So I must be doing something right there my child. Thank you very much.
The reason why they turned out the way they turned out was because you spanked them, or was it other ways that you did that? Was the spanking the primary reason why they're good kids? Was that the primary reason?
So, because they go to college, they have to get other options. And you know what? And when they get older, they will spank their children. If their children
Up next, would your kids survive being deprived?
My 6-year-old broke the window. I took his Xbox, his PlayStation, his TV, his toys. His whole life collapsed around him. He's miserable.
And later, kids and guns. What would yours do? Pretty soon, they are back to playing with the gun, pointing it around, and pulling on the trigger.
Is this not one of the most heated debates we've had on the Tyra Show in a long time? This is about spanking. Interesting. I knew that it was a hot button topic, but I had no idea. We are talking about spanking, to spank or not to spank. Sandy spanks her kids. Teresa still spanks her 16-year-old son. Jordana puts her son over her knee and spanks him. Laura refuses to spank. Now, I have to ask you, you said he's 16 and you spank him. How do you spank a 16-year-old? What is the process?
Well, he knows. He knows the process. He lays on the bed, and I spank him.
And then at what age will you stop spanking him?
Well, if he doesn't do anything else wrong, 18.
18. So it's
While
when
he's
he
in
will
while
be
he's
able
in
to
my
vote and stop getting whooped.
Yeah.
Okay. Huma, you're against.
Against.
Okay, tell me your nationality.
I'm from Pakistan. A lot of parts of my country, people believe on spanking. No offense, I'm sorry, but you're creating a violent society. Might is right,